Peace, wholeness, love, and light. I am Nudiamonds here with a Libra season energy reading. Okay, fall equinox, autumn energy reading. I hope everyone out there is doing well, feeling good. I feel like this is all about you knowing how special you truly are, knowing how magical you truly are. Like, do you know how special you are? Do you know how unique you are? You are made special. You are divinely created by the all to be yourself and be in tune with your natural vibration, your natural essence, your natural frequency. And no one can be you like you. No one can do you like you. So continue to remain in that essence of being your true, authentic self, not letting anything interfere with your peace, your tranquility, your frame of mind. Just embracing that at this time, okay? So again, just letting you guys know how unique every one of you are, how special every one of you are, and remain confident in your true, authentic essence at this time, okay? That's going to be major, okay? And I love every one of you guys. Like, I thank every one of you guys so much, as this is about community, and that's what we're building right now. We're building a soul tribe. We're building a place, a sacred space for us to come to and for us to just be in our authentic selves. So yeah, I'm feeling really good. I went for a run. Then I just grounded in the grass with the trees. So I feel like that's a message, right? Getting back outside, getting in tune with nature, getting in tune with your nature, and being natural and doing what resonates with you, and just being in that essence of your true authentic self, and not letting anything outside of you, anything drift you, anything distract you from your mission, from your true essence at this time, as it's all part of the mission. Everything that is happening at this point is all for this mission. It's all for a purpose. Even if we may not know what that purpose is, even if we don't truly understand what that purpose is, or what our calling is, or if we don't know what our next move is, it's all for a higher purpose, a higher understanding, a higher sense of evolution. And the more we get in tune with that essence, the more we become who we are truly meant to be, without expectations, without worry, without anything. Just being in that essence at this time is priceless. It's very empowering. It's very enriching. And I feel like that's what we're going to be falling into at this time, okay? With this whole autumn energy, right? It's autumn because this is when the leaves starts to turn. This is when we're in a new season. This is when the leaves fall, right? So this is when we let things go. We leave, double entendre, we leave things behind that are falling behind. No more trying to play catch up. No more trying to hold on to things. Just letting things be, letting things go, and being in that essence of this renewed sense of self. And I say that because autumn hits hard as far as entendres, metaphors, synonyms, homonyms. Because when I think of autumn, I think of atom. I think of the base molecule, the base structure for all life, dark matter, atom, right? The first man, the first atom was an atom, right? Um, so this is really getting in tune with the beginning of yourself, getting in tune with the deep darkness of yourself, and letting things transform as you get in divine alignment with yourself, your masculine, your feminine, your higher, your lower, whatever you may need to deem fit to assert yourself at this time. Just getting in tune with that and embracing that with that autumn energy, as this is a new season, right? So if the world is transforming and leaving things behind and shedding old skin, that's something that is necessary for all of us to do as well, right? Also, I think of autumn, a tomb, right? A tomb, something that you put things in, sacred things in, right? Whether it is a deceased person, a coffin, a tomb for someone to rest, right? Death, right? So this is where a lot of us are going through this death spiritually, physically, emotionally. We will be seeing a lot of death spiritually, physically, emotionally, and just embracing that as death is a beautiful thing if you look at it from a different perspective, okay? As you have to let something go in order to transform, right? As nothing really dies, energy never dies, it only transforms. So once you tap into that essence of energy transforming, then you really realize that it's only transference of energy. And with this death, with this autumn energy, we are having a beautiful spiritual rebirth. And I feel like that's, a lot of people have been going through that, and we're integrating a lot of different changes. We're still finding our way, as this energy isn't easy. I can't sugarcoat it. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, right? This death is just beautiful and it's abundant, and no, it's been a lot of spiritual work that we have to put in to get here. And it wasn't all glitz and glamour. A lot of us didn't come with a silver spoon in our mouth. A lot of us had to work hard to where we're at to get to where we're trying to go. Okay. So that is that death energy, that tomb energy, and also just putting things in a sacred space that you value. Okay, a tomb, because when I think of a tomb isn't just a coffin. A tomb is like a cave. It's going within, going internal. Something being enclosed, something, encased in something, right? So this is where you go internal and see what it is that you need to release, what it is that you need to balance, what it is that you need to discover within yourself, and go within these deep hidden realms of yourself to figure that out. Okay, I also think of the Atum, right? The Egyptian Kemetic deity, as this is the gods who created all the gods, self-creation. This is not good or bad. It's both. It's the beginning and the ending. It's the cycling. It's that Godhead, right? That Ouroboros, it's everything, right? That Atum energy. So knowing you are who you say you are who you think you are. Just remember to tap into that frequency, tap into that energy as we are being renewed at this time. Okay, this self-creation, this birth, to be reborn, especially in this 9-year, as this Atum has this spiral on its head, right? Letting you know that I am of higher essence and I am of lower. I have a double crown, meaning that I ruled the higher levels of Egypt and the lower levels of Egypt, and as above, so below, as within, so without, really getting in tune with your internal, external, masculine, feminine, higher, lower, light, shadow, dark, essence, inner child, higher self, ancestor, spirit guides. You already know all these different aspects and sides of ourselves, getting in tune with all of that and finding balance, aka Libra season. Okay. And that goes back into that ma'at, the scales of justice, making sure that your heart is as light as a feather. So when you do go to the underworld, you're able to cross over. You're able to have that breakthrough, breaking through the threshold, right? That breakdown for that breakthrough to ascend higher. Okay. Because the underworld isn't something that is should be deemed scary, right? The underworld is the inner world within yourself. The underworld is the hidden things, the mystical things, the occult things, that scorpionic energy, that winter energy, that dark side of the moon. Is all of these different aspects, and we should not be afraid of those hidden realms, because we have hidden things that lie from within us as well. So this is about revealing those things, and getting ready and getting prepared, as we begin to find balance within ourselves so we can walk that straight path. And I love it. I just really love this energy. I also feel like if you've been putting in the work, you should feel really balanced. You should feel really centered. When the tests do come, they won't phase you, right? You've been there, done that, right? So you're able to just maneuver through this energy with grace and ease, as that is that Libra energy. Having that confidence, being in tranquility, being with peace within yourself, finding joy within yourself, finding harmony within yourself, as you shouldn't go looking for love in things outside of yourself if you can't provide that for yourself, as you'll always be searching. You'll always be trying to fill this void that derived from within. So you always have to start with self in order to ascend. That's why I always say go within to ascend. Do the inner work first, so that way you won't be looking for external validation or gratification, or just things that you can find within yourself to fulfill yourself at this time. Okay. So I said, and then the fall, right? The fall equinox, right? Things falling, as we go into harvest season, right? So with this fall energy, this is things being at full bloom, right? Things falling in your lap, things falling away, right? Leaves falling away. And the equinox meaning equal day, equal time, equal day and night. And I love that they call us the fall equinox. They call it the fall equinox because they say the sun is falling. But that's only from the earth's perspective. If you take yourself outside, change your perspective, then it's really the earth tilting up, as the sun doesn't go anywhere, right? The sun, like, we revolve around the sun, right? So it's not the earth, it's not the sun descending, it's the earth tilting on a axis to where the sun, it's an illusion. It's an illusion that we see from our perspective, that the sun looks like it's falling south, which from our perspective, the sun falls south, but really the earth is tilting north. Okay, so that's a whole thing I was dwelling on the other day. I'm like, how is the sun falling? The sun could never fall, right? It's the earth tilting up. So it gives the illusion that the sun is falling. It gives the illusion that the sun is descending into the south, where it's falling. Okay, so be very attentive to things, as there's going to be a lot of illusions, a lot of distractions, a lot of fear mongering, a lot of things that happen this fall season. Okay, This is minimum a 3-month prediction video, minimum. Okay, so it's going to be a lot of propaganda. It's going to be a lot of everything to try to distract us from getting in tune with ourselves. So we are being distracted from our own harvest, right? We should be harvesting our own energy, but this is a great time of that harvest energy where people are getting their energy harvested. So be mindful of what you're consuming, right? Be mindful, and consumption doesn't only mean what you're eating. Consumption is what you're viewing, what you're watching, what you're allowing in your energy, who you're sharing your energy with physically and mentally, emotionally, sexually, financially. Be mindful as this goes into that Libra energy, that relationship energy, right? Be mindful of all of that, because this will be a high peak time for that energy of harvesting. Okay? And if you've been putting in the work, you will see a great deal of abundance. This is where you reap the benefits of your harvest. If you've been putting in work, haven't given up on yourself. That's why I was going in on talking about how special we are, because we could have given up a long time ago. We don't have to do anything. You heard? We don't got to do anything. Nobody has to do anything they don't want to do. But we took the initiative to get things done. We chose ourselves. That's why we're the chosen ones. Okay? We chose to do better. We chose to elevate. We chose to learn. We chose to listen to our spirits, to the higher calling, to the divine, to source. And that's what we're going to continue to elevate, continue to get shown favor at this time. Okay? We are highly favored at this time as that goes into that 7. Right? This is the 7th sign. This is all about that God, right? That good God energy, that goddess energy, the divine energy, divine interference, divine love, divine partnership, divine union, divine intervention, divine experiences, just everything being in divine alignment for this time as we get ready to prepare to deep dive into that underworld, right? But you got to find balance within yourself. You got to know who you are. You got to know you're great. You got to know who you are. You got to know you that boss. You got to know you that guy. You got to know you that goddess. You got to know you that empress, that emperor. You got to know who you are, and how you do that. You get in tune with yourself and deep dive within yourself, right? We are creators. We are co-creators, and we are that God wanting to experience itself. So God made itself in its image, right? To have these experiences. And God, the Most High, Allah, the All, feels through us, sees through us. We are it. It is us. We are one. Okay? So when you get in tune with that essence and know who you are, you begin to know how powerful you are. All right? Also, it gave me like this justice energy. Cause soon as I was writing my notes down, I put 7-Eleven. I don't know, it's probably, programming here. I seen 7-Eleven all the time. But Spirit was like, it's something deeper, right? It's something more with that 7-Eleven. Due to that 11 being a portal, due to that 11 being the 2, due to that 11 being the pillar, right? And this is a high portal time for us right now, as a collective, as we build these relationships with self, as we build relationships with others, as we build relationship with the community and with the Most High, with our higher selves, with the all, with our ancestors, with our spirit team. So this is all about relationships in all ways, right? Business partnerships, a lot of communication, a lot of justice, right? And how is justice served? Justice is served by cosmic law. Justice is served by physical law. And no matter what realm we're on, sometimes certain laws get bypassed on this lower realm, but the powers that be of these higher laws, this higher nature, this cosmic law, this universal law, nothing goes unseen, right? Nothing is new under the sun. And so this is where we continue to abide by universal law, nature law, cosmic law, as there will be cosmic justice, divine justice. I always like to say that there's judgment, there's justice, and there's victory. Okay, so we're going to be seeing a lot of things playing out. There's going to be a lot of divine justice. This is where you take things into your hands. I'm hearing grab life by the horns, grabbing a bull by the horns, and really taking control of what it is that you desire, really taking control of your life, and not playing victim, as we are victors. Okay. Yeah, so I said balancing the scales of the heart physically and weighing them, right? And when I said waiting, it made me, that was like another double entendre, right? Hononym, as waiting, right? Waiting, being patient, waiting on time, sitting and thinking, right? So having patience with yourself at this time, as you could be waiting for your harvest, waiting for something to come in, waiting for your investment, return on investment at this time, and just have patience, right? And also waiting as in a weight room where I'm lifting weights, right? Heavy pressure, right? So a lot of us could be dealing with a lot of pressure, could have a lot of things on our shoulders, right? And we're waiting, we're lifting a weight. A lot of us are pushing up weight. A lot of things we're holding a lot of things together at this time. So continue to remain strong. Continue to know that you are the source, you are the power, you are the answers, you're everything that you're looking for. So continue to seek and you shall find at this time, as we are one with the infinite. Okay. So I said waiting and having patience. And patience is another double entendre. Patience is another homonym as being patient, right? I want to be patient. I want to wait. I have a great deal of patience, right? But patience is also could be seen as clients, people that are sick, that are in the doctor waiting room, a patient, right? So if you don't have the patience to receive the medicine, another double entendre, right? You got to have the patience to receive the medicine. Okay? You have to wait to be healed. Healing isn't something that's, yes, it can be done. Reiki healing, right? We some mystical, magical beings. But if you're trying to heal generational things, sometimes these things take generations to heal. So you have to have patience. Okay? Literally. Physically, emotionally, spiritually. All right? Sexually, whatever. All right? And then when you have patience to receive the medicine, that's when you received your harvest, right? Because harvest, this is where we get into the physical realm of waiting, of having patience, right? You plant a seed to an apple, you plant a seed to a peach. It doesn't bloom or grow overnight. That is not how it works, right? You have to have patience. You have to nourish it. It has to germinate. And it's going to be a lot of growth in the dirt, a lot of subconscious, a lot of hidden growth that happens before you even see that seedling sprout. Okay? And then it takes minimum 2-3 years to even see fruit. Then for it to be ripe. Then that's when things fall in your lap. Okay? So that's another thing, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. 2 to 3 years you've been waiting for something. 2 to 3 years you've been working on something. I know it's a long timeline. Spirit is giving me specifically 2 to 3 years. You have been working on something from 2022 to 2023. You've been on go mode with something. Your patience, your hard work, your consistency is about to pay off. You are about to receive your harvest, whether it's for mental clarity, physical clarity, spiritual growth, learning something, investing something. Something is going to come to a head this season for you. Okay? Congratulations, Soul Tribe. Congratulations. It has not been easy, but we get it done. We get it done. Okay? I said the power is being restored within us. This is the reset. Divine justice is taking off. Okay? And I say that because Libra is a cardinal air sign. And it always made me think of a bird, right? The cardinal bird, right? As cardinal is that initiation, things starting, getting things done, the first, right? That red fiery energy. And also that air is getting into with the mind, being flexible, having balance, right? On those scales, right? So something is getting ready to take off for you. Something that is divine is getting ready to take off for you because of your consistency, your authenticity, your integrity, your effort, and what you stand for. Okay, this isn't just doing anything for anything. This isn't you like going along to get along, trying to keep up with the Jones, trying to do everything else to fit in. This is you standing on your authentic essence and receiving the benefits of your hard work that you've been putting in. Okay, being different, paying off. Being unique, paying off. Spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally, sexually, all ways that you desire, you getting at this season. Okay, and that is a lot of sexual manifestation, creation energy, because Libra, this energy is attributed to Venus. Okay, and Venus is in Virgo, so this is all about healthy love, right? This is all about fulfilling yourself and also getting that physical abundance that you deserve, that physical abundance that you've been working so hard for at this time. Okay, because if we're doing a lot of spiritual work, we also want to see that transferred in this physical reality. And it doesn't always happen like that. But when it does happen, it is so, it's the cherry on top. All right. So we're going to be getting a lot of sweet, divine things this season as well. Okay. Also, happy birthday. That cherry on top made me think of the birthday. Happy birthday to all Libras. As you guys are amazing. And you guys fight an unseen battle with yourselves every day and make it look easy. All right. Nobody knows that you're going through this internal battle with yourself, as you are the only object. You hear me? You are the only object in the signs. You are different. You are unique. But you are the tool that is necessary. You are a necessary tool if you want to have something with great measure. You use a scale. If you want to see something out equally, right? You use a scale to keep balance. Make sure everything is equal. Make sure everything is in equality. Okay? All right. And going with those scales, right? It was a lot of double entendres, a lot of doubles, a lot of polarity, a lot of duality with this energy, because it is that scales, right? So scales, when I think of scales, I'm like, yeah, weighing at a scale, and Spirit says scales, and it immediately showed me a fish. And I was like, yo, I wasn't even thinking of fish scales, things that have scales, right? Even snakes kind of have like this scaly skin, right? So it's the scales, right? Thinking outside of the box is going to be one thing. Looking at things from different perspectives is going to be another thing, as that's what this energy is all about. It's all about opening up your mind and weighing things out. Shout out to Dr. Phil Valentine, as I did the interview with him and King Simon, and I was asking him about discipline, and he was in balance, and he was like, well, to find balance, whatever you are seeking, you want to seek the opposite, right? So if it's something that you're wanting to find balance in, go to the exact opposite, right? If I'm having this craving for something sweet and I'm trying to balance out that desire, let me go to something bitter. If I'm having this overly sexually desire, if I've been just speaking, right? If I want to have more sexual discipline, I need to abstain, right? If I want to work on, you know, losing weight. Well, I can't be doing things that are, make me gain weight, right? So this is all about tapping into that opposite, that polar opposite, as what is opposite of Libra is Aries, right? Aries is all about that warrior, right? So make sure that you, if you're fighting for something, you're fighting for justice. You're being a spiritual warrior at this time, okay? But going back to the scales and the fish, right? It made me think of the Pisces energy, and I'll break that down in a chart later. But this Piscean energy, just kind of being kind of over and done with as we are tapping into this age of Aquarius energy, that scale energy, scaling things out and releasing things so we can get to the center, right? Because that's something that's on the surface, right? That's something that's shallow, right? You really want to deep dive into yourself, deep dive into the relationship, deep dive into anything to really get to the grit, to the bottom of it, right? And that's all about shedding the old to receive the new cells, right? As we shed too, right? We have dead skin cells, right? That shed, our hair sheds, right? So it's all about releasing that old to receive the new. And that's exactly what's happening at this time. All right. And then when I thought of a scale, I seen a hexagon, and that made me think of like the Merkaba. That made me think of the box, right? So breaking free of this old constructs of your mind, breaking free of old programming, breaking free of this box, just period, to just grow and elevate and ascend at this time. I said breaking through the box and the old system, okay, and having a sense of unique balance within whatever it is that you're doing, whatever realm you're in, finding balance at this time, okay? Going back into the Libra sign, right? The physical sign of Libra is this one straight line and this middle line that kind of curves over and goes over again. I'm gonna show y'all so y'all can see. It's right here, right? And I love that because when I was looking at some of my books that I do research with, it was like, this is the sun rising between two hills. That's what the Libra sign is. It's one hill and it's another hill and it's the sun, right? So it's all about you rising, you shining, you coming up over, you know, whatever obstacles, right? This is the third season, right? And this is all about what obstacles have you overcame to get to this point, right? And as we are climbing this mountain to get to this higher vantage point, to get to this higher viewpoint, you can finally start to see the sun over the horizon. So new horizons, new things, and this is like that double up of that energy at this time, okay? To find this balance and this equilibrium at this time, okay? I also got some numerology, right? Numbers were just popping up. So again, I said the 7 popped up, 6 kept popping up with the hexagon energy, hex 6. 11 popped up, 77, 14, and 5. Okay, so if you are seeing these numbers repetitively, like 144, 777, 444, 555, you're in divine alignment. These might, you know, be even deeper messages and meanings for you, but these are just divine signs, symbols, synchronicities to let you know that you're in divine alignment with being balanced. You're in divine alignment with this energy, this autumn, this fall equinox, this Libra energy at this time, okay? And then I also said, going back into that Venus energy, that love energy, there will be a lot of uniting. There will be a lot of relationships. There will be a lot of love, a lot of sexual energy, because Venus is that love, right? Venus is that star. Venus is, you know, that balance between loving yourself and loving someone else. Also physical things. It's also attributed to Taurus, right? So being very grounded, being very secure, knowing what you want, and not just raging, not just being impulsive, not being stubborn. Just really getting in tune with who you are and being in tune with yourself at this time. And there's also going to be a huge full circle moment in Taurus season, as well, with love, with abundance, if you've been putting in a lot of work at this time. Okay, so a very fruitful harvest. As you know, that Taurus energy, that Venus energy is all about eating, right? The food, the neck, your values, what has your attention. And if you've been putting in the work, you will have a very fruitful harvest and tuning into your true values of yourself at this time, okay? And making sure that you're weighing these values against your heart, right? Does these things resonate with your heart? Does these things resonate with your soul, with your spirit, with your mind and your body? And if they do, then it's all good. You're on green light, okay? If it don't, reevaluate things. Don't just be impulsive at this time, okay? While balancing the opposites, right? That ma'at, that number, that justice, that being in tune with the Most High, and being centered and not letting anything sway you, push you, pull you out of your element or out of your frequency, and contemplating what decisions you want to make for your highest judgment, for your best outcome, okay? That separates the sheeps from the goats, right? As we know, we are goats, right? We those goats climbing this mountain, and we are different from the sheep, right? The sheep just go along to get along, right? They are afraid of the big bad wolf. Meanwhile, we taking leaps and bounds that nobody has ever seen, and we not afraid. Okay, we a ram if we got to, and that's that polarity of that Aries. Like I said, we are warriors for justice, right? Okay, now. And when we find that balance within ourselves, that middle ground, then we're able to cross over, right? We're no longer at that crossroads trying to decipher which way to go. We know which way to go because we're in tune with our spirit. We balanced out our higher, our lower, to ascend at this time, okay? And this is final judgment before we cross over into the underworld. So this is where you start to balance out your desires, right? And just follow, what feels right for you, and make sure that you have that discipline, right? As like I said, we're getting ready to go into the underworld, and this is all things that are adding up in your spiritual karmic bank before we dip into this spiritual side, okay? As this is law, right? Spiritual laws, spiritual things, you don't do. Just like it's physical things you don't do, because there is karma, right? There is energy that is attached to certain things. So you all want to make sure that you're operating from your highest light, as karma is action and action is karma. And this is all a part of nature, and this is natural law, right? And if you abide by that, then you will be setting yourself up for a very beautiful, abundant, fruitful harvest at this time, okay? Something else that I had got was speaking straight to the heart without obscurity, all right? So speaking to your heart without letting things obscure your vision, your judgment, not being biased. What is it truly that your heart desires, okay? And then let that choice be made for your highest good, okay? And then I choose the way in between the force of the lines, right? So if somebody trying to pull you on this side, you got to stay in between and do what's right for you, do what resonates with you, your heart, your soul at this time, okay? All right. I had also looked in a few other books, and I had looked at the Bhagavad Gita, and I flipped it on a random page, and the page that I looked at was, it was talking about balancing of the opposites. It was talking about, for if it is cold, then there is fire. For if there is life, there is death. For if there is attachment, there is detachment. And that is how you find yourself, and you break free from those attachments when you're able to look at the polarity and the opposite of things and know that we are not one thing. We are free. Okay. And those were just my channel messages for this energy. I'm going to tap into the chart. So I'm going to lock the screen so y'all can look at this chart with me one time. Here is the chart. Okay, we got the sun in Libra. Yep, sun in Libra with the moon, with Mercury adjacent. Look at this figurine, a big old star, big old kite. Y'all know I'm about to go in. Okay, I just wanted y'all to get a good look. If you want, you can look it up yourself, or like I said, shout out to Soul Tribe. I know y'all just be trusting me just to go in. I love y'all so much. All right, so yeah, I said with the sun, Mercury, the moon, all in Libra, you are focused on communicating and balancing your emotions, your power, how you're healing. You're focused on balancing your subconscious mind, okay? And listening to yourself, your relationship with yourself, your relationship with people, and your relationship with the divine, right? So there's going to be a huge focus on how you're communicating with yourself, how you're healing. Are you listening to your intuition? Are you listening to the divine? Are you listening to your heart, mind, body, soul, all in divine alignment? And how are you working and communicating with those different aspects of yourself? Okay. And I said that's going to be a big thing, because in opposition of this energy, we have Neptune that is retrograde in Aries. Okay, so you want to do this and balance this out to receive spiritual clarity, right? So if you focus on mastering your intuition, listening to yourself, listening to the divine, and building that relationship, then you're going to have an enhanced sense of spiritual gifts, spiritual awakening, spiritual clarity, mental clarity, right? And you're going to receive a lot of rewards spiritually, right? Also physically, but this is more spiritual, okay? And if you focus on your discipline in healing, then this will just be triple, right? This, you'll start to see things come in by the triples, by the doubles, by tenfold, okay? It's going to be so much abundance. Like I said, fruit falling out the tree. It's so much abundance. You can't catch it all. You can't even hold it all. Go get 2 buckets. And it's still apples, oranges. It's so much abundance because you put in the work. All right? And that goes into that Chiron in Aries as well, right? As Chiron is a wounded healer. So have you been healing your wounds? If you've been healing your wounds and working on yourself, that is the abundance right there, right? I know my triggers. I know my trauma. My triggers aren't triggering anymore like they used to, right? I ain't ready to fight nobody when they step on my J's, right? Because I know I got to work hard for my money. But I also know that money comes and goes. My spiritual integrity and my freedom doesn't. Because if I fight somebody and go to jail just because they stepped on my shoes, then that's a whole nother thing. So we didn't grown, we didn't elevate it at this time. So give yourself a huge round of applause if you've been working on self, healing yourself, loving yourself, and freeing yourself. Okay. I also think there's an air trine. So this is harmony with your spiritual thoughts, harmony with your mind, harmony with your soul, harmony with your spirit, and transforming for the future generations and the collective with their unique mindset, and using unique forms of communication like technology, like AI, and all the other things that people are doing, right? While balancing relationships, because this is divine law at play, and this is the foundation right now, right? And I say that because we have Pluto in Aquarius, we have Uranus in Gemini, and then we have Sun, Moon, and Mercury in Libra, right? So if you're balanced and focusing on communicating with yourself and others, and incorporating different things like technology, but using it for your best benefit and being your unique self, then you're going to see a lot of harmony. You're going to see a lot of divine alignments. You're going to see a lot of abundance that pours in for you at this time. Okay. Then also it's a water trine in the chart. Okay. So this is emotional balance, right? Emotional intelligence. That's been a thing I've been working on. Okay. I want to have emotional intelligence. I don't want to flash. I don't want to just break down and start, right? I focus, oh no, I'm upset. Let me go for a walk. Let me walk this off. They messing up my energy. Okay. I am love and light. Let's pull it up. It ain't that serious, right? So, water trine, emotional harmony, ancestral expansion. If you have broken through the illusion to free your spirit, to fully tap into your hidden power, you will be initiated. Okay. So, and I say that because we have Lilith and Mars in Scorpio. We have the North Node, Saturn in Pisces, and we have Jupiter in Cancer, right? So this is all about how you growing with yourself, how you deep diving into yourself, how you tapping into your ancient ways to prepare yourself in the future and remembering those ancient ways, the ways of the ancestors, and evolving and growing so that way your spirit can get to that next plateau, that next place that is trying to go. And there will be a lot of spiritual abundance, physical abundance. It'll be a lot of great gifts and great things that are revealed to you at this time. Okay. Also a lot of waters. That's been the thing I've been talking about, watching the waters. Waters expanding. Storms. It's going to be a very cold winter. So yeah, just be mindful of the weather. Be mindful of your emotions. Be mindful of the waters that you are treading into at this time, okay? Whether deep or shallow, right? Be mindful of everything at this time, all right? And I said, Father and Mother come together to create the star seeds. This is balance. This is to create the chosen ones, okay? As we leave behind the old and we're tapping into our star power, we are illuminated, okay? And I say that because of that little star in the chart, right? And we all know stars, is good and bad. Like I said, it's polarity and everything. A star can be represented as a pentagram, a pentagon, that devil energy, which is attributed to Venus, right? The morning star, the evening star, right? But what is a star? A star is light. That is something that is illuminated, illumination, wisdom, enlightenment, right? So long as you are tapping into the higher qualities of your star power and using your power for good and not abusing your power, you will start to receive a lot of abundance at this time, okay? And it's all about how you view things, okay? Because we are all here to grow. We are here to ascend. Everybody doesn't have the same mission as us, and that's okay. Okay. But this is where we cross over. All right. We've been crucified. We have sacrificed ourselves. And this is where we receive benefits of the rewards. Okay. There will be tests. There will be temptation. But if you have the discipline, you will push through and prevail, right? With that devil energy there, with that trickster energy there. If you're rooted in your spiritual discipline and value, then you will pass to a higher level spiritually, okay? Releasing to cross over physically. Okay. And then when I was looking at the chart, I seen like this H and this T, which made me think of Hierophant, right? So being more spiritually inclined, getting a lot of spiritual messages, spiritual downloads at this time, and breaking through this plane of existence into a higher timeline and a higher dimension. Some things may be painful at this time, physically, spiritually, emotionally. I'm getting like the hymen breaking, right? It's painful, right? But it'll be painful at times and it won't be easy, but it will be worth it, right? This is all about that pain, no gain, right? As pain is temporary, spiritual abundance and spiritual gratification, being spiritually ranked, is eternal. Okay, so this is temporary versus eternal. and stay in gratitude at this time. So no matter what you're going through, always keep that frequency high and always remain thankful, as there's always someone doing worse. There's someone who didn't wake up. There's someone that is not able. Okay. And keep your head up and keep pushing. Like I said, we spiritual warriors out here. All right. I said, this is where you get your wings. This is victory. And victory is here. We are flying higher, as we are that kite, right? We had to string along, get things together. Now we are rising, right? We cut those weights so we can rise high, so we can ascend and get those wings. We are tapping into that diamond, crystalline, clear clarity as we start to shine brighter. And we radiate these different colors from within our mind, our heart, our bodies, our souls, as we had to be put through that pressure to make us these strong spiritual, physical beings that we are today. And yeah, that's pretty much what I seen in the chart. I'm going to get into my meditation and some clairvoyant and channel messages that I got, which were very profound and amazing. So let's get into that. So soon as I tapped into my meditation, I seen a number 8, and it's number 8. The bottom half of the 8 started to get big, and then it started to look like an hourglass, right? So that gave me a sense of it's time, or times have changed. Times are changing, right? And the bottom half of this hourglass started to flip, and it didn't flip immediately. It was just going slow, flipping slowly. And when it hit this point of view, right, where it was leveled, it opened up a road. And then it gave me a sense like we put in the physical work, right? We weighed out things. We got the hard work done. We did the dirty work to elevate and to rise to this higher plane of existence. So now we have this straightened path, right? This straightened arrow. And we're heading in the right direction as we get ready to ascend, right? Because then it flipped all the way up. And when it flipped all the way up, I got very divine essence feeling. Like it felt like the divine was there, like our ancestors were there, like a higher level of energy was there, like we're in a spiritual realm and we're ascending. Okay, so I said I seen an hourglass and it slowly started to flip upright, and then when it flipped upright, I started to hear sand pour. Okay, so I don't know if that's like the Sandman, the dreams, right? The spiritual realm, right? Grain of salt, right? Take it with a grain of salt. Healing, all of the spiritual healing that you have done has opened up this new pathway for you at this time, okay? Then it turned into the letter V, right? So it went from an hourglass and then it went like a V. And it's crazy because I was watching V for Vendetta last night, and y'all got to watch that movie. It's a trip. Or if you remember that movie, you know it's a trip, but it's very prophetic for these times that we're in now, okay? And it's also banned in a lot of places. They don't really want you watching that movie because they don't want nobody to get no ideas. But that's another message for another time. But like I said, this hourglass turned into a V, and V for me stands for victory, right? Victor, right? Vigilance, being vigilant, vengeance, right? But the main thing that I got was victory, as victory is a 22nd letter in the alphabet, that 2 and that 2. So having abundant values, and make sure that you are grounded in your values at this time, and you're in tune and you're working on your values, you're working on your self values to make sure that your foundation is set to take you to this next level. All right, for that victory, to receive this victory. So that way you're rising above these lower vibrational ways of thinking, like vengeance, to tap into this higher level of love, right? Because it went from the letter V to the letter L. And when I seen the letter L, it was like these branches coming off of it, right? So it gave me a sense of like branches to love, is branches to these new levels, is branches to what you're trying to do at this time. Okay. And then as it turned into like branches of love, it turned into like a stick figure, which made me think of us, right? We are ascending. But I also seen the stick figure start to fall, right? And when it was falling, it was like spinning and falling, right? So like I said, just releasing things. You may feel like you've been on rinse and repeat, spin cycle, drying cycle, right? Just spinning, getting things clear, running around in circles. But you've been doing that to get your mind clear, right? To dry things out, to wring things out at this time, okay? Then it stopped, and it gave me a sense of like something opening, right? And when this energy was spinning and spinning and spinning, it finally stopped, and then it turned to like this open and closing energy, open and closing energy. And it made me think of like a window, right? So by you breaking through these cycles, you have opened up a window of opportunity for yourself, your spirit, to fly and to be free, okay? So I said it was open and closing like a window, or like wings, like, and it started to turn to like butterfly wings, right? So kind of going back to what I initially said when I was reading down the chart, because the chart to me looked like butterfly wings in the shapes and the symbols that I seen. And it also makes me think of the butterfly effect, right? I always say this: we are the cause and we are the effect, right? So whatever you're doing now, whatever actions you're taking now, there will be a reaction for that, right? So if you've been doing all of this work to free yourself and get your wings, you being an angel, a light worker, you know, working on your mission, then you will be heavily rewarded by the divine at this time, okay? And then after I seen the wings, I seen everything started to spin. Everything was spinning, and it made me think of the world, right? So then I started to see the world spinning, and then it zoomed out even more. And then I started to see the universe spinning. Okay, so this is something, you know, as the world turns, Wheel of Fortune, everything is turning, right? The cycles are turning. The universe is turning. Everything is moving. The only thing that is constant is change, and things are changing at this time. Okay, and things are changing for the better at this time. Okay, and then as I seen this energy spinning and spinning and spinning, it made me a little dizzy, right? So being feeling like you're having outer body experiences, or not really feeling yourself, or just having these different thoughts, different feelings at this time, just be mindful of that. As like I said, trying to find balance can sometimes make you a little wobbly, right? Make you a little thrown off balance trying to find balance, right? But just stay focused. Things will open up for you the more you hone in on that energy. As things started to spin, I seen a book open up in the middle of this energy, and it made me think of the Akashic records. So as we begin to release these things, as things are turning and we're turning this new leaf, we're opening up this new chapter and tapping into this higher knowledge and this ways of healing, we are opening up a new book of life. We are writing in our own book of life. We are the authors. We are the telling our story, right? My story, mystery, right? As we are the mystery, right? And we're opening up to our destiny, right? We open the world to our destiny. And then I started to hear the divine essence start to come through. I felt divine essence, divine presence. And it says, you have paved the way for your destiny. Embrace what's about to fall into your lap. Abundance. And I was like, okay. Oh, and I receive. Okay. And I received that message. I say, okay. And then after that, I kept seeing this figure. I'm going to have to really deep dive into some like occult symbols and signs and synchronicities for this, but I could see it clear as day. The only thing I could relate it to was the tree of life. And it's like these X. It was like an X with like this thing in the middle. And it just made me think of like maybe like a 5-pointed star. I'm going to find it. When I find it, I'll post it or something and go deep dive into it. But it gave me like the tree of life. And it also made me think of like a Pokemon, right? Like a legendary Pokemon, because it was like these wings. It was like this body, but it was like this head of like a dragon or like a griffin or like a turtle. Like I still can't really describe it, but The best thing Spirit kept giving me was like a legendary Pokemon. Like, I don't know if y'all know, but something ancient, right? Something ancient is being restored. Like a dinosaur with wings, right? Something that is ancient, something that is mystical, something that is legendary, something extraordinary is being restored, and is being restored within us. Okay, you guys, is being restored within the universe, as this is a cosmic thing. This is a universal thing. This is omniverse, omnipresent, and that omnipresence essence lies within all of us at this time. Okay. And yeah, and that was my meditation and my channel messages that I received. It was just very calming, very reassuring that we are on the right path. We're doing everything that we're supposed to be doing at this time. Just continue to have faith, continue to push through. You got this. Like I said, you are very special. Shout out to Soul Tribe if you're here with me. I value y'all. I love y'all. I thank y'all so much. We're going to continue to rise. We're going to continue to do what we got to do. Yeah, so continue to shine your light and don't dim your light for nobody. If you would like to donate, my Cash App is Nudiamonds101. Or if you would like to book any products or services, my website is newdiamonds.net. I also have master classes that I'm going to be teaching. So I'm going to be having my astrology class next month, and I'm going to be having a spiritual ascension class. I also have my Master in the Shadows class, working on self-mastery, and I also have my tarot class that is already available. So if you guys would like to tap into those, deep dive, invest in yourself, all of that is down in the description box below. Again, I love y'all so much, and I'm gonna keep pouring into y'all the way that y'all pour into me. And it's all about the collective and rising our vibration and doing our part and shining our light. All right, you guys. So I love y'all so much. I'll catch y'all on the next one and see y'all next time. Peace.